Episode 137, my trip down to Georgia. Or, the devil went down to Georgia? Nick went down to Georgia? I don't know. Anyhow, I ended up in Georgia. What do you call 100 baby sheep rolling down a hill? Yeah, a landslide, of course. That's horrible. Hello, welcome to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki G. I'm here to inform, entertain, and delight your ear holes with all things off-road for the next 10 minutes or so. Why 10 minutes? That's about all the air I have in my lungs. Yeah, I just made that one up, and it's horrible. Alright, before we get started, I'd like to go over my legal boilerplate mumbo-jumbo, but I don't have to because I have enslaved AI interns. So take it away, enslaved AI interns.
You're listening to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast, the podcast for the off-roader with a short attention span. Got something to say? We would love to hear from you. Just contact the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast at 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. That's 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on our YouTube channel.
You can listen to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on whatever the hell you're listening to it on now, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Odyssey, Podbean, Pocket Cast, Podchaser, and iHeartRadio, or through our website, 10minuteoffroad.com.
You can follow the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but never TikTok.
All right, thank you very much, enslaved AI interns. You're worth every penny I paid for you. And I tell you, ChatGPT, the free portion, is not too shabby. All right, before we get started, I'd like to apologize for the lack of show. I don't know how I lost 2 weeks. I thought this past Sunday would have been 2 weeks, and I said, well, I'm going to be a few days late with the show, and set out to record and looked, and I'm like a month late. Like, holy crap! How did I forget about how did this slip my mind? Anyhow, I got a lot to talk about. It's been a very busy month for me. Went on a trip to Fisca, and on the way home had some power steering pump issues. So I changed power steering pump out in the Jeep. That's no big deal. That's like the third one I've been through in the past 15 years. Had some time off work and nothing to do. Well, there's always something to do around here, but let's face it, this house is pretty depressing sometimes. So had my Jeep pretty much packed from the last trip I went on. I never really unpacked anything. And so I decided to take a trip down to Georgia. I didn't really have any plans other than there was a Jeep event going on. It was the Mountaintop Jeep Summit, formerly known as the Mountaintop Jeep Explosion. I don't know why they changed it. I prefer Explosion over Summit. But went down there to the show, and it wasn't a bad show. I figured a small town. It was going to be just, a couple of people showing up with Jeeps and really no vendors or anything. But they had a lot of good Jeep-related vendors, off-road vendors. And it was a pretty good time. Some pretty good food trucks and a lot of Jeeps on display. You see the usual show Jeeps that you see at the big events. And then some just common everyday people. And I got to tell you, I saw 2 XJs there. One of them was mine. I could have entered the show and shine, and I probably would have won. Although the other XJ there, I got to tell you, I don't know where this guy had it, but it looked like it rolled off the showroom floor. It was 100% stock, shiny, clean. Yeah, it looked like he just bought it from the dealership. So kudos to that guy. I can't remember his name. But I had the only lifted XJ there. The only one that was, and of course, my Jeep was covered in mud from the previous days because the Jeep show was on a Saturday, and I left my house, I think, Wednesday or Thursday, and I just meandered through South Carolina and Georgia. And I gotta tell you, I had a good time. First stop on my trip was Table Rock State Park in South Carolina. We have a Table Rock here in North Carolina. And I gotta tell you, the Table Rock South Park, or Table Rock, South Carolina. I have South Park on my mind. I won't say it wasn't very good, but North Carolina State Park, a lot better. Uh, it's a shorter hike to the summit because, anywho, I can make the hike up to the summit on Table Rock, North Carolina. South Carolina, that's a pretty far hike. So I opted out of hiking up to the peak, and I just drove through the state park. Nice state park. Uh, Good place to have a picnic lunch. If you're driving down 11 and you need to use the restroom, I would recommend the Table Rock Visitors Center, which is on the left-hand side of the road. It's a nice little log cabin on a lake. Beautiful. You use the restroom there. If you use the restroom in Table Rock State Park, you got to pay $6 to get in. And that kind of turned me off too, because $6 to get in to see Table Rock, where in North Carolina it's free. We're traveling down 11 again, further on down, and I believe it was Highway 28, the Highlands Highway, or I should say State Route 28, the Highlands Highway. I came across another state park called Stumptown Tunnel, and it's an old abandoned railroad tunnel that they didn't really complete, so you can't walk all the way through it because I don't think there's an exit. It was very interesting. You can walk in it. It's almost like walking into a big cave. A couple of 100 feet into it, you kind of lose daylight, and it's kind of creepy. And I know what they mean now when they say the light at the end of the tunnel. If you're down that way, check it out, Stumptown Tunnel. And again, I had to pay $6 to enter, but it's for $6 you get a nice clean restroom, and I don't know. It just seems like something like that should be free, but it's all in South Carolina. They got to make the money up somewhere, so more power to them. So after I left Stumptown Tunnel, I came across another little tourist attraction called Chattahoochee Town, and it's an old settlement, and it has a bunch of old abandoned buildings on the property, and kind of walk through it. It was very interesting. See a lot of history. You could actually they had a spring house there, which you don't know what a spring house is. It's a building built over a spring, so they can keep their water clean or fresh water. It was very interesting. You can walk through that. The whole thing you can just walk through, and that was free. But the parking was dismal. I was there on a weekday. There wasn't nobody there. I was the only person there. I had no problem parking, but if 3 more people showed up, the little pull off on the side of the road would have been crowded. After I left Chattahoochee Town, I wanted a place to spend the night, so I was looking for a camp spot or a campground or anything, and I came across Long Bottom Ford Camp, and it's on Low Water Bridge Road, and it's just a few miles from Chattahoochee Town. As a matter of fact, it's in between Stumptown Tunnel and Chattahoochee Town, and it's a 4-state road. It's a dirt road. Runs along the I think it's the Chattahoochee River, and they have about a half a dozen dispersed campsites there that you could use free of charge. They ask that you stay in the designated camping areas, which I drove the whole length of the road. Road's probably about 3 miles long, and there is nowhere to camp other than the 6 or so campsites that they have designated. And there was 2 people there camping. Two of the spots were taken. I took the one all the way down on the end, which was kind of a smallish campsite. Good thing it didn't rain because you could obviously see the marks from the water runoff running down the hill. Would have run right through my camp. But they were calling for clear weather, so I opted for the campsite away from everybody. And I gotta tell you, I had a good time. It was nice, right on the river. But you can't access the river because the river bank is probably about 6 or 8 foot above the river. I even thought about getting a rope and putting it on my bucket to access some water to extinguish a campfire. But I didn't have a campfire because I didn't bring any firewood with me, and I forgot a saw, so I didn't have any way to process some firewood. I had a hatchet with me, but I didn't really need a fire that bad. It was kind of late when I got there, so I just kind of set up camp, had something to eat, and called it a night. And when I woke up in the morning, I had a good night's sleep. There was something splashing in the river in the middle of the night that woke me up. I think it might have been a beaver, an otter, or something. And had a nice, comfortable night. Woke up in the morning, and there was frost everywhere. They were calling for 45-degree weather, and it dropped obviously down below 32. But not too bad. I survived it. I was a little cold packing up in the morning. And next morning, I went exploring. But this episode's running a little long, so I'm going to wrap it up, and I'll go over what I did on day 2 of my Georgia overland vacation on next episode. Until next time, this is Nikki G saying, will what you got and be happy.